Have you ever wondered why some people enter a room and instantly command respect, while others struggle to be noticed no matter how hard they try? What if the secret wasn't in their words, but in their silence? Today, we're going deep into one of the most powerful tactics in Stoic philosophy: earning deep respect without needing to raise your voice or prove yourself. In a world obsessed with noise, silence can become your greatest ally. It starts with presence, not performance. You don't need to announce your worth when your calm, grounded energy already speaks volumes. Imagine the confidence of someone who doesn't chase validation, who doesn't need to explain, who walks into a room and simply is. That's the kind of respect that can't be begged for. It's drawn to you naturally. Stoics believed that true strength lies not in dominance, but in self-mastery. When you know yourself deeply and don't allow your worth to be swayed by outside opinions, people can't help but take notice. Most people feel the need to talk, to justify, to convince. But those who can hold their ground in silence, those people radiate a rare kind of power. You see, respect is not something you demand, it's something you attract. It's energy, and silence, intentional silence, is one of the strongest energies there is. It makes people lean in. It forces them to observe. And in that stillness, they recognize something different, something unshakable. True confidence isn't loud. It's quiet. It's measured. It's disciplined. And when you walk through the world like that, people feel it. They may not know why they're drawn to you, but they are. Because deep down, everyone respects certainty, and silence, when it comes from inner strength, is the loudest form of certainty there is. Some people think respect is about titles, appearance, or speaking with authority. But real respect, the kind that lasts, comes from how you carry yourself when no one is watching. In Stoic philosophy, there's a belief that your actions are only part of your power. Your restraint, your stillness, your refusal to react, these are what truly set you apart. When someone disrespects you, the instinct is to fight back, to defend. But what if doing nothing is actually doing everything? Picture this. They expect you to react, to argue, to prove. But instead you look them in the eye and remain still. That stillness speaks louder than any argument. It tells them, I don't need your approval. I've already approved of myself. Silence isn't passivity, it's precision. It shows that you are choosing not to waste energy on what doesn't serve you. In a world where everyone is shouting, the one who says less means more. This doesn't mean you never speak up. It means when you do, people listen, because your silence has given your words weight. Think of the strongest people you've ever met. they the loudest? Or were they the ones who didn't have to speak much because their energy spoke for them? This is the Stoic way. Let your confidence be felt, not announced. Let your calm be your edge. You don't gain respect by asking for it. You gain it by living in a way that commands it. Through discipline, clarity, and quiet conviction. Be the one who doesn't react to every insult. Be the one who knows the storm will pass and doesn't flinch. Real confidence doesn't chase validation. It doesn't seek applause. It simply is. You walk into a room and people feel your presence, not because you speak first or the loudest, but because you don't need to prove anything. That's rare. That's power. And it makes people pay attention. There's a calm that comes from knowing who you are, not what they say you are. That calm becomes your signature. It's in your posture, your gaze, the way you pause before responding, if you respond at all. It's not arrogance, it's inner alignment. And that's what draws respect from others without you asking for it. You might think speaking up makes you strong, but in reality, the stronger you become, the less you need to speak. People lean in when someone who's usually quiet decides to share something. That's when your voice carries weight, not because it's loud, but because it's rare. Silence isn't absence, it's control. And when you master it, people can't quite figure you out. That mystery, that's your edge. They wonder what you're thinking. They hesitate to cross your boundaries. Because you don't react, they become cautious. So the next time someone underestimates you or tries to trigger a reaction, remember, their noise doesn't deserve your energy. Your energy is reserved for building something greater. Respect, in the Stoic sense, isn't earned by confrontation. It's earned by living with such unwavering self-trust that others can't help but notice. And here's a secret. People respect what they can't control. So when they can't get a rise out of you, when they can't make you explain yourself, that's when you've already won. Now, if this message spoke to you even in silence, then you already know this isn't just a video, it's a mirror. So if you're ready to step deeper into this path of quiet power, don't just watch, be part of it. Subscribe and ring the bell, not just for more content, but to remember who you truly are when the world forgets. You don't demand respect, you embody it. It's in how you move through the world, not with arrogance but with certainty. When you stop chasing people's approval, you stop shrinking yourself to fit their comfort. You start standing tall in your truth, and people notice. Not all of them will applaud it, but the right ones will. Sometimes, silence speaks louder than validation. When someone disrespects you and you don't react, you're sending a message they can't ignore. I'm not here to prove myself. That unspoken boundary, where you don't even acknowledge the insult, is more powerful than any comeback. Think about it. The person who yells in anger loses control, but the one who remains still, they hold the power. People are drawn to those who don't over-explain, who don't justify every step. Why? Because that restraint signals mastery. The world teaches us to speak up for ourselves, but Stoicism teaches us that power doesn't always speak, it emanates. A quiet presence, a calm gaze, an unshaken posture. These become your loudest weapons, not to dominate, but to anchor yourself, to say without words, I know who I am. The truth is, when you speak less, every word matters more. Your voice becomes rare and therefore valuable. So when you finally choose to speak, people listen. And in that moment, you're not just respected, you're remembered. But here's where the game changes. Most people won't understand you. They'll call you distant. They'll say you're cold. That's because they're used to noise. They equate emotion with expression. But you've learned to express through action, through presence, through restraint. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. They'll test you. They'll bait you. Not always with cruelty, but with subtle pressure. They'll ask for small favors. They'll cross tiny boundaries. And if you respond with a smile every time, they'll push further. Not because they're evil, but because they've been conditioned to see kindness as weakness. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. When you stop being too nice, some people will get angry. They'll call you selfish, cold, arrogant. But that's not your truth. It's their discomfort speaking. They're not used to your strength. They're used to your silence. You weren't put here to be liked by everyone. You were born to honor your values, to protect your peace. And sometimes that means saying no without guilt, holding eye contact without apology, standing your ground without explanation. This isn't about revenge. It's not about proving anything. It's about alignment, about being so in tune with who you are that you no longer bend for validation. Boundaries are not walls, they're doors. You decide who gets access, and access is earned, not owed. When you stop overgiving, something powerful happens. Your energy returns to you. You no longer feel drained. You're no longer in performance mode. You're present, rooted, intentional. You begin to notice who respects your silence and who only sticks around for the noise. The moment you stop being too available, you become valuable. And here's the paradox. The less you chase validation, the more deeply you are respected. Not by everyone, but by those who matter. You didn't come this far to stay silent when your peace is at stake. You didn't learn to read people just to keep entertaining those who drain your energy. You didn't develop inner strength to keep explaining your worth to those who never saw it. Here's the harsh truth. They don't stop because you're kind. They stop when you show them you're no longer available. Not emotionally, not energetically, not silently. You become untouchable the moment you realize your energy is currency, and not everyone deserves to spend it. When you walk away without a fight, that's when you win. When you stay silent in the face of provocation, that's when your power screams. They'll come back, some to test you, some to regain access. But you're no longer playing that game. You've upgraded. You've transcended the version of you that needed to be understood. This is your new normal. Peace over proving, boundaries over bonding, depth over distraction. You don't need to justify growth. You just need to live it. And now, a question that will echo in your mind until the next step reveals itself. If you had to choose between being liked and being respected, which one have you been sacrificing?